I can go down multiple different paths of how do you get people trained, but maybe I know you had a couple of good use cases. You wanted to walk the journey
Yeah.
off of it. So maybe you within that journey, you could talk about the before and after. What was the state of people, process, and technology before you started these AI interventions? And then what happened in that journey? And I'm sure there were some positives and some challenges which you overcame. Would love to.
Pharma obviously woke up and actually said, oh my God, we have to leverage actually generative AI for automating many of the documents that we actually produce. In the drug development today, I have to actually say the complexity is mounting in terms of the timeline are stretching. Everybody is worried about actually how long it takes to actually develop a drug, how long it takes to actually run clinical trials. And bringing a life-changing therapy to patients is an incredibly complex, much costlier, and a long journey. And we are now recognizing it's a revolutionary shift, and leveraging the generative AI piece can transform how we create as well as manage the vast documentation ecosystem that actually truly underpins the drug development aspect. And I can tell you actually from an example perspective, the document challenge, our industry faces, because of the fact that for a good reason, we are very much a highly regulated environment because we're talking about health sciences. So our industry faces an enormous challenge when it comes to the administrative as well as operational burden in drug development. And it's often interfering with our ability to innovate very efficiently. And for each clinical trial, the teams produce thousands of pages of documentation, starting with the protocols, statistical analysis plans, clinical study reports, safety narratives, informed consent, and patient information leaflets. And because when the drug goes out, and the same patient information leaflets, among others. There are so many of these documents. And this process in itself consumes thousands of experts' hours across multiple functions, including, I'm talking about early stages from preclinical to clinical to regulatory and medical affairs and other things. So from a typical phase 3 program, the documentation task alone could consume about 20 to 30% of our valuable
Wow.
resources, scientist resources, and clinicians' time. And this is more of an administrative burden that can directly extend development timelines and ultimately having a downstream impact on the delaying patient access for therapies that are much needed in many of the therapeutic areas.